Hi everyone, it's Lauren Gates here. I'm the Director of Open Source for Sangoma, and we're on our way to do a presentation for embracing the cloud using the new FreePBX PBExact migration module. Here's our agenda. We'll start with some introductions. I'll have Mike White do a few slides where he'll talk about PBExact Cloud. We'll talk about creating a PBExact Cloud account, and I will walk through the migration module in detail, show you how settings are moved from a prem system using FreePBX or PBExact to a new cloud setup using PBExact Cloud. So as I said, I'm Lauren Gates, Director of Open Source. I have with me here Mr. Mike White, Vice President of OS Sales. Say hi, Mike.
Hi there, everybody.
In addition to being Vice President of Open Source Sales, he's all-around great guy and extremely approachable. So thank you for assisting me with this today, Mike.
Anytime.
So with that, I'll turn things over to Mike, and I'll advance through his slides, starting with what is PBExact Cloud.
Hi there, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. Just a quick overview on our PBExact Cloud platform, forged in the heart of our open source projects, Asterisk and FreePBX. PBExact Cloud is a feature-rich UC platform driven by the innovation of our FreePBX community. As our vetted commercial cloud version of FreePBX, PBExact Cloud delivers all the features you'd come to expect in a modern phone system, and I'm here to touch on just a few of those today. So as mentioned before, it's an open-based system based on FreePBX and Asterisk, the two projects that we are the guardians at the gate for. We do offer 24/7 support SLA, which is something that you wouldn't generally find in the FreePBX scape. And again, this is our vetted version and certified version of FreePBX in the cloud. It's super tightly integrated with everything that we do here at Sangoma. For example, I tell folks to look at this really as an extended feature of SipStation and FactStation, our trunking services. It's very tightly integrated with our SD and P series telephones, and we offer a premise-based version as well. From an extended capabilities perspective, think of this as FreePBX that includes about $2,300 worth of our FreePBX add-ons, and we'll touch on some of those key features here in just a moment. Next slide, if you could, please. All right, so as mentioned, some of the key features, support is included. Each instance includes the support that you would normally expect to pay $400 for at a minimum. That 2-hour package bundle is available for standard FreePBX deployment, and that's the bar of entry for support. That's included with the cloud service. There's no server, simply leave the management to us. Updates and infrastructure, those become our problems, not yours. From a UC client perspective, we include both our Sangoma Connect mobile and our new Sangoma desktop phone applications. Those are concurrent licenses. If you're familiar with PJSIP and FreePBX and you've picked up a Sangoma P phone for your desktop, you do have the ability to run both Sangoma Connect and our desktop application as the same extension across platform. CRM integration. If you're looking to do screen pops or click to call, PBExact Cloud offers integration with Salesforce, ConnectWise, Sugar CRM, and more. And we've also recently introduced a Zapier integration that allows you to build integrations between PBExact Cloud into just about any application in the world. We've recently released our new P series phones. If you haven't seen them, I'd recommend that you check them out. We're currently offering the tightest integration available for FreePBX and PBExact Cloud users, but don't forget, we still got our bring your own device option with our EPM. Currently on PBExact Cloud, we are giving Endpoint Manager away for free. This means that you can bring over 300 devices to PBExact Cloud, giving the ability to leverage your existing investment. If you've picked up phones by Yealink, Grandstream, or any other major players in the market, those are easily provisioned in our application as well. And lastly, FactStation and call center add-on. PBXact Cloud offers our eFax feature alongside some of our dedicated fax station hardware for users as well. And just a quick update on the fax station piece, that is now HIPAA compliant. Lastly, PBXact Cloud may not be for everyone. That's why we offer, very flexible deployment options. I think you're on there you go, sir. Sangoma offers PBXact premises-based servers spec to meet the specific needs or size for your deployment. We also offer software-only licensing, which would afford you the flexibility of deploying in, say, a VM or any public cloud. And we also offer integrated solutions like our SipStation and FaxStation products. This will give you the ability to couple, or build a hybrid cloud solution using any of our software or premises-based PBX. And then, of course, you can always utilize the migration utility that Lauren's about to show you today to take those premises-based services to our new cloud product. And I think that covers those for me. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. And apologies for the slide progression. That's entirely me in the driver's seat here, and it is me struggling to make my mouse work as expected. Okay, so we'll start kicking things off from a technical point of view with how does one create a PBXact Cloud account? It's not overly difficult. At some point in the account in the system creation process for PBXact Cloud, you will be prompted to log in as a user. If you don't have a user account, there's a tab that says New User. You click that, and a long form with contact details, CAPTCHA, terms of service, that sort of thing. You fill it in as you would and submit it. From that point on, you then have a login account for PBXact Cloud, and you can use that account for creating instances, one or more, as many as you need for individual PBXs. Once we have that account created, we can proceed with this step, which involves migrating settings from a premises or from a hosted system under your own control. So the goal here is to give the end FreePBX PBXact administrator the tools they need to migrate from an existing premises-based or something that you're hosting yourself in your own cloud or your own VM to entirely migrate the settings to a brand new PBXact Cloud instance. So in brief, we will create a destination server running on PBXact Cloud to which we will migrate our settings. We will download and install the cloud migration module that runs locally on the source system. We'll step through the migration module wizard on the source system, which goes through the process of ensuring that all the local settings are bundled up and transferred to the remote system. And then we'll go over the steps that follow the migration process. There are a few technical limitations on PBXact Cloud, notably that it does not support custom or third-party modules where Prem PBXact and FreePBX does. It does not support custom dial plan or custom config or anything that requires editing *conf files directly. So we start by browsing to cloud.pbexact.com. And the first thing you see on that introductory screen, it gives you a wizard for ordering a new system. At the top of the ordering process, you are given fields and sliders for setting the number of trunks and the number of users. And it's important at this stage to choose a PBXact Cloud system that's sized appropriately for the users that you're going to migrate to it. So in the picture provided, we have 4 trunks and users and 4 users. So this would be appropriate for an 8-user system that has 4 PSTN call paths. We continue with the PBExact cloud creation process, but at the bottom we are prompted for fields to select a DID to assign to our new system. We need at least one, and even if it's only temporary. Note at this part, there is a checkbox to filter for SMS capable DIDs, which you probably want. One of the strengths of PBExact Cloud is native SMS support. Clicking next brings you to the individual tabs where you can set fax services if you want them. You can order purchase or rent Sangoma phones, rentals determined on the plan that you've selected at the initial screen. And the final tab in the process is where you select add-ons. You can go next through this process. As far as the migration module is concerned, none of those are mandatory, but you'll want to check them out anyway. Note that, as Mike mentioned, we do have promotional pricing for PBExact Cloud Call Center and for third-party phone support for Endpoint Manager. If you haven't already logged in, at this point you'll be asked to log in. Your order selection will be summarized with costs complete, total cost that includes any other PBExact Cloud systems on this account. You check the confirm box, click submit order button, and at that point the deployment process kicks off. It will take anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes or so for the new PBExact Cloud deployment to be ready. You will just leave that screen open. A button appears when it's ready to log in. You click the button and it takes you to the welcome screen for My PBExact Cloud. At this point, you'll see a large red warning at the top of the screen indicating that no dispatchable location has been set for 911. It is important to set that now. Once the new PBExact Cloud system is up and running, you've set the emergency 911 address, the Administer My PBX button will appear, and you can click that and you will be presented with the familiar PBExact setup wizard, which you can proceed with or you can cancel. Any config you enter at this point will be overwritten in the migration process. Back on the source system now. So on your PBExact or FreePBX prem system, you browse to admin module admin, click the check online button in the same way that we do all module admin, and in that list you will see the cloud migration module. You can toggle the download install and click the process button to install the module in the normal way that you do for all modules. This is currently published for FreePBX and PBExact 13 and higher. We can accommodate migrations from earlier versions. However, it is not a self-serve facility. It would require you to take your own backup and open a support ticket requesting that your backup be applied to the instance that you've created. And as always with a module admin, there is a corresponding FW console command to download the module shown in the bottom. Once the module is installed, you can access it by browsing to admin cloud migration, and you will see a screen more or less like this. I will go through the individual components here in detail. So on the left side of the screen is the individual steps for the various components of the migration process. It'll step through them one by one with a little arrow indicating which step you're on. On the right side, the first screen you see is check system requirements. So it will tell you how many users you have to ensure that your have a matching or higher number on the destination system in the cloud. It will tell you how much disk space is being used for voicemail, for call recordings, and for prompts. It will give you an idea of date range for CDR and CEL records. And importantly, it will indicate in red at the bottom if you have any unsupported configuration on the source system that can't be restored to the destination system. If you click either of these red buttons, you will see which modules and which configurations are not supported. And at this point, you can decide whether that's something you can work around or if you need to put some additional thought into the migration process. Clicking next brings you to the following screen where you take the local system backup. You, as an administrator, get to choose at this point how much CDR and CEL info versus date range that you want to transfer to the new system. You can also choose to, if you wish to transfer Q logs to the remote system as well. You can choose how many months worth, or from 0 to 3 months, 6 months, or all as far as recording files go. And you also have options with regard to sound languages and music on hold. So at this point, you basically pare down the settings and files that you don't need to preserve on the destination system. Smaller backup size means faster restore and quicker setup on the migration process. Clicking next leads us to step 3, log into cloud. You will log in at this point using the same credentials you used to create the deployment previously. And once you successfully log in, you will see a drop-down menu that allows you to choose the specific deployment you've created. Clicking next will perform a quick validation step, and then you go to the upload step. So the entire tarball that's been generated on the local system at this point will be uploaded to the cloud. It could go very quickly or very slowly. It's entirely dependent on upload bandwidth and how much data you've included in the backup. It will take anywhere from a few seconds to a fraction of an hour. Step 5, restore backup on cloud. The restore process is several mini steps, which will be processed slowly in order as the system works its way through. Depending on how much data you selected in the upload, this can take anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes, possibly even longer if there is a huge amount of CDR data. But it will step you through the process and change the little labels on each of the icons as they complete to indicate that things are still in progress. When it's finally finished, the finish button will be displayed at the bottom, and you can click it to take you to step 6. Ready to migrate. At this point, you have entirely moved the settings from the local PBExact or FreePBX system into the new PBExact cloud deployment. All your configs, users, extensions, ring groups, queues, everything, and the selected CDR and recordings will be present. However, all your extensions at this point are still registered on the old system. So there are some manual steps to the process to move your registrations. If you're using Sangoma devices, you probably have things set up to use the zero-touch redirect. So you'll need to log into the PBExact portal, the Sangoma portal at portal.sangoma.com and update the redirect settings for the devices in question. That allows you to automatically redeploy Sangoma devices by a quick reboot or a factory reset. If you're using a DHCP option 66 locally in any of your phone environments, you'll need to update that to point to the new PBExact cloud deployment. and any devices that are manually configured or need to be updated manually with the new registration settings. Also at this point, inbound calls will still be going to the old system. So you need to configure your old system to forward inbound calls to the temporary DID we selected initially at the beginning. You can also begin the porting process to have your DIDs move permanently to the PBXact cloud system. And there is a porting option when you're logged into PBXact Cloud on the left-hand menu. And that covers the full walkthrough as far as the technical components of the migration go. We'll just quickly check here and see if any questions came in while we were going. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the blank, and we can do that now. While I don't see any questions currently at this point. Maybe we'll just give a couple seconds to see if anyone has any words to ask before we wrap things up. Mike, is there anything I missed or any final words you want to say? The easiest way to get in touch with you, Mike, in sales is via email.
Absolutely.
Do you have a preferred method of contact?
Again. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to reach. My phone number is 855-GET-MIKE. I do want to mention that we're currently running a cloud migration promo. The current promo includes extensions, as low as $8.95, and we've got another promo where we're giving away S phones as free rentals for $15.99 per user, and all that includes the conversion module that you saw today.
Thanks for the reminder, Mike. I see we have a question from Garrett. It says, a few extensions, not all. Perhaps I misspoke at some point. The expectation for the migration module is that all extensions are migrated to the cloud. And if you have more local extensions and users on the source system than the cloud system has been configured for, the migration module will interrupt you at that process, at that step, and say, go add some additional extensions on the cloud system. I hope that answers your question. If not, I can follow up privately with you if you indicate that in the question box. So that's all the questions I'm seeing at the moment. If there is nothing else, I'll be happy to wrap things up.
We do have a couple of more questions, Lauren.
Okay. I'm seeing one. What devices are supported from Sterling? I'm sorry if I can't see the remainder of the name. It's a little truncated here on my screen, but basically any open SIP devices are supported. If you wish to provision them using Endpoint Manager in the FreePBX wiki, wiki.freepbx.org, you can see the Endpoint Manager supported device list. There are many, many hundreds of devices supported for provisioning. Sangoma manufactured devices are free to provision using Endpoint Manager. And with the cloud promo now, third-party devices are also free to provision. Sterling is asking about Polycom devices. There are many Polycom devices supported by Endpoint Manager. And in the last year or so, we added a couple different groups of VVX devices. Again, I'm not sure of specific ones. You can see my email address there right on the screen. If we want to delve right down into specific models and features, drop me a note and we'll chase
Sterling,
that.
Sterling, I can circle back around on that as well. Most of the, I'm going to assume all of them at this point, the modern Polycom VVX line is currently supported, as well as old VVX 300s and all the way back to the old SoundPoint line as well.
Can you read the next question, Alvita? It's truncated here, and so I'm only seeing a few words.
Okay, I'm gonna read it out loud. But
Thank you.
so if they're supported in FreePBX, then they will be supported in the cloud version.
Yes, so there are no differences as far as devices go for support in FreePBX, PBExact, Cloud, or Prem. The endpoint manager provisioning software works the same on both. And even for devices that are not supported from endpoint manager can be manually configured to register to PBExact Cloud. It works identically. So as long I say this with some qualifications, but any open unlocked SIP device or soft phone or hard phone will register to FreePBX, PBExact, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. I can see the questions now. I was able to pop it out. So we have a question from Neil, who's asking if you can pick and choose some extensions and not all. And in fact, that is a feature that we are working on. It's not quite ready in time for this webinar, but it came up in our testing for exactly the reason. For FreePBX, it's not unusual for miscellaneous extensions to accumulate on a prem system that just sort of remain and are unused. And so we'll add a feature in the coming near term for picking and choosing which users to migrate. At this point, though, it migrates all users and extensions on the system. I have a question from Mindy. We have 3 buildings with separate FreePBX instance. Can they be migrated to one? And I would safely say yes, assuming that all 3 buildings are a single sort of operating entity or business, or in some way complementary to each other, such that there are no security concerns with combining multiple independent separate tenants on a single system. So the answer to that is a qualified yes, you can do that. Neil's asking, can you split them? Please follow up. I think this is probably, can you split them? Perhaps as a follow-up question to migrate only a few extensions, but I'll need a clarification on that, Neil. Again, feel free to reach out via email. We can have a more detailed conversation. I answered Sterling's question about what devices are supported and with regard to Polycom. So I think at this point, those are all the questions. If there are no further questions here, let's wrap things there for today. I thank everyone for attending our webinar and supporting FreePBX, PBExact, and the open source community. Emails are in front of you. Please reach out with even minor little questions, comments, whatever you have to say. And everyone have a wonderful day. Thanks all.
Thank you.